Hi, diddly ho there, neighbor, and welcome to another edition of Litter Media Live. It's January 17th of 2025 with the icon, Mike Smith. I'm Dan Ramey, and a bunch of geese flying behind us right now for those of you watching on Litter Media Live. And Mr. Hand, too, is off to our immediate right. There we go. We have a number of things to share with folks, as we always do. Good news. And we also have good news about bad news. So details in our first story we'll share with you coming up in a bit. But first, the quiet Mike Smith is prepared to give us a look at our forecast. We think. We're not.
Let me give you the radio version.
Yeah, because we're not seeing anything on the screen yet.
Yeah, warming today.
Here it comes. Weather's on the way.
Okay. With a high of 40. Sun was out when I came in just moments ago. Now, tomorrow, early morning, we're talking about 2, 3, 4 a.m. through maybe the early, you wouldn't call it drive time on a Saturday, but you know what I'm talking about. Rain. Still in the low 40s. But then things take a dip on Sunday. High of 24. Monday, 10. With a nighttime low 0. In fact, I think I saw the first 3 days of next week, you may have overnight lows in sub-zero weather. And I'm not talking about wind chill, actual temperature. So winter it's still here.
It's still here.
You shouldn't be shocked by this.
Yes. And Martin Luther King Jr. Day, I know that there's been marches in the past and things. When they get to be single digits down around there, I can't recall if they postpone those or just move them indoors because some of the older folks, it's difficult for them to move around in that cold weather. So I was thinking about that during Jimmy Carter's funeral, all of his family walking, and it was cold that day in Washington, D.C. And so, but we'll see how things play out. We wish them well, those that will attend those services on Monday. That being said, we will be here Monday. You won't because of your basketball duties, but
will you be off on Tuesday?
We'll be here.
Since you're doing 2 games next week?
I don't know.
Well, just let me know so I won't include your name on the notes. It'll be Mike and Aaron instead of Dan and Mike.
Mike prepares our scripts every day, and that's why we always say, we got a typo here, because Mike's never wrong.
Well, it is the spell correct, but I think it must be using a different language. Because some of the ones I saw annually the other day, and I thought, wow, how did the H get in there? Well, the H happened there. How'd that H
get the H out of there?
Get that out of there. Yeah.
News is on the way next. But first, let's tell you about Scioto Valley Dumpsters. 740-253-8389 is the number to call if you're in need of a dumpster at your residence or your business. They can take care of that. 740-253-8389.
This is Andy Tomlinson. When ensuring what's important to you, our agents are there when you need us the most. Tomlinson Insurance, for the best coverage at the best cost. Visit us online at tomlinsonins.com to learn more.
Discover Ross County. From the breathtaking outdoor adventures to the historic sights of Chillicothe and family-friendly events and festivals. Explore more at visitchillicotheohio.com or download the free mobile app today.
This is us.
This is that moment where you say, this is last. Here we are back again with a look at news. Yesterday, we made our way out to a special event, the initial community lunch and learn session of the South Central Ohio Fraud Forum. That was held yesterday. Banking personnel, community members were learning how to better protect their personal data and how to avoid scams and cyber fraud. Cybersecurity expert Jeremiah Johnson, you see him right there, noted how eye-opening this session was for the audience.
I think this is such a critical thing for our community and even the banks, because to your point, I think some of the folks that were here from the bank were hearing things that were not normally a day-to-day thing, right? So we had Sheriff George Lavender come in and talk about the stuff that's going on directly in Ross County and some of the threats, and it's really concerning. And we need to do a better job of, helping those community members that may fall for the scams, the silly, oh my gosh, I can't believe you bought somebody iTunes gift cards and sent them out, or goodness, the Bitcoin stories that we've all heard, right? We can do, I think we can always do a little better job telling the story.
Representatives from Homeland Credit Union, Kingston National Bank, Vinton County National Bank, the Savings Bank, and Atomic Credit Union make up the business members of SCOFF, with additional assistance from law enforcement. And we're scheduling a special edition of Litter Media Live with Jeremiah to share some of his presentation, which was, I used the words eye-opening, and Aaron Glandon was there. The passwords and all that stuff that he was going into, and the AI that's involved today, did that capture your attention?
Oh yeah, it was fascinating.
He showed the protection levels of having a password that was longer than 8 characters. And he talked about how if you have like a capital T, a number 3, and then maybe a small c, and you're spelling like Tecumseh in a funky way, he says that's not as safe as you might think it is. But if you use something longer,
and put spaces in it.
Yeah. And
a phrase or a sentence.
Yeah, a phrase like Johnny likes to play soccer. That's much more secure than
put spaces between it, you're saying.
Yes.
That might be easy for us to remember as opposed to all these other things that we've been trying. Yeah.
So when you think about all those things you've done to try and save yourself from that, now that's more of the presentation that we'll have him do here on the show. But in our story today that you'll see at littermedia.com, it's talking basically about the scam calls. And I was surprised about the iTunes cards and Amazon cards. And I asked him later, and I said, so Jeremiah, what's the difference between those and those Visa cards? He says, well, Visa cards you have to create an account for to be able to use. And when you use those online, you have some sort of protection because there's a name attached to it. But he said these iTunes cards and Amazon cards, they go right into your shopping cart, and there's no trail to them. Wow. There's no way to connect a name to those. So that's why you'll get a phone call from someone saying, okay, we're going to repossess your car if you don't make this payment today. And the way to help this person out is to go out to Dollar General and buy $200 worth of iTunes gift cards and send those to us, and we'll get this taken care of. And people fall for that.
Wow.
And so you have to be careful with it. The next time they have a meeting, we will again publicize that. I think the folks that were there were just like, and there was a moment where they collectively went, oh, and it was like a light bulb went off, and man, so thank you, SCOFF, for your efforts in making this help, and it helps them save money.
And this is for the general public to come in.
Right, right. And there were a number of banking representatives there, and it was interesting to hear their reaction when they were seeing the things that he was sharing. So yeah, Jeremiah, you know him for the Southern Ohio Forest Rally, but he is a cyber expert, and will share more details for us at a later date.
Ross County Planning Commission and the Board of Commissioners have announced the kickoff of the process to develop Ross County's first comprehensive plan since 1978. That's the year I graduated from high school. A comprehensive plan is a shared vision and guiding document for economic growth and development over the next 10 to 20 years. It'll cover many topics, including transportation, economy, farmland, housing, tourism, parks, and recreation. The plan shall reflect the values and priorities of residents of Ross County, and the first open house is slated for Thursday, January 30th from 3 to 7 p.m. at the Christopher Conference Center at North Plaza Boulevard.
And you think about yesterday's big story up in Pickaway County, Commissioner Jay Whipple was saying, we've been working towards this for 20 years. So that's what this is going to be as well. You see Pickaway County getting all that. Ross County wants a part of it too. So be a part of that meeting in the open house. City of Circleville, speaking of Pickaway County, will present its State of the City address January 30th at 6 p.m. That'll be at the Circleville High School Auditorium. The public is invited to attend.
You know, anything that goes for 50 years is kind of a big deal. Mm-hmm. But this gentleman, R.J. Lyon, just celebrated his 50th anniversary at Fluor-BWXT Portsmouth. RJ's experience has ranged from being an operator to his present-day position as a nuclear facility manager. And that's RJ there in the middle. Congratulations. Mm-hmm. 50 years on the job.
You can tell those 50 years on his hair, but some of us lose that, and we even have far less stressful jobs than what he has. This Saturday, the Knights of Columbus will be holding another drive-through food distribution. Starts at 10 a.m., goes until noon, right behind St. Peter Church, which you see on our screen here, on the corner of Church and Water Streets. Ross County residents in need of food are invited to enter the parking lot using the Church Street entrance and exit onto Water Street. Additionally, diapers and baby formula will also be available while supplies last. Distribution is scheduled to begin at 10 a.m. They ask that you please not arrive early and block access to the church or Church Street. And I'm going to be honest with you, I've not been by to see how the snow is still impacting that area. So just be patient. Be patient.
If you like spaghetti and you want to do something to help a good cause, then check out Springfield Township Fire and Rescue Spaghetti Dinner, February 8th from 4 to 7 p.m. That'll be at their 3140 Lick Run Road fire station.
I hope they don't have a fire hose ready to spray off that spaghetti sauce in the corner of your mouth.
That's just to clean off the plates.
Yeah. We'll do the dishes.
That'll be quick.
Rising Park Pond over in Lancaster is currently not safe for people to walk or skate on the surface. This, of course, is a nice summer shot for you. If you're walking on the water of this,
you're special.
You are special. Thickness must be 5 inches thick, and it must be near clear black in color. The city of Lancaster will post a sign at the pond stating if it is safe to walk or skate on the pond. Post on their Facebook page as well. So just be aware of those items. I don't know how deep this pond is. I've been there to see it, but I'm not sure if it's, for instance, Yaktangi Park. I can't remember the deepest part of it, but when I was in the Anything That Floats But a Boat race and our vessel didn't float, we were sinking, and I was able to walk through that waist deep, but that was towards the bridge. So I don't, speak of the bridge right behind us there, but you just don't know because you see the water, but you don't know the bottom. So be cautious in this stuff.
So while Yaktangi Park Lake, the mayor was telling us the other day, they no longer allow skating there. Yeah. Over in Lancaster, they still do allow that. Just a reminder that, of course, Monday is a federal holiday for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. There are a number of different activities that are taking place that day, but most areas, schools, government offices, and banks will be closed. Just to give you a little heads up, it's a day off for a lot of you folks.
Mm-hmm. Not like it was last week when everybody was out forever.
For a different
reason. Yeah, right. for all that snow. Coming up Monday, we'll have a special edition of Liter Media Live where we will talk about the Chillicothe Chocolate Walk. And our guest will be Daisha Gearhart from the Chillicothe Ross Chamber of Commerce. She's the Events and Marketing Safety Council Manager to share more. I saw her yesterday at the event, and she said, yeah, I'd love to come in and talk about chocolate. Mm-hmm. All right, coming up, a look at sports. But first, we want to tell you about Accurate Heating and Cooling and Plumbing, your trusted comfort advisor. For nearly 5 decades, they've been taking care of these issues across not just Chillicothe and Ross County, but they've expanded into a wide territory, stretching from Dayton all the way over to Athens and from Columbus south to Portsmouth. So if you want to find out more, click on this ad anywhere you see it at littermedia.com, and it takes you to AccurateHVAC.com.
Find a career you love with Pickaway Ross Adult Education. Skilled trades careers are in high demand with no signs of slowing down. Pickaway Ross offers career training programs with expert instructors and hands-on learning tactics to create a variety of opportunities. Visit our website for more information.
Life. It can get on top of you quickly, can't it? But with 211, it only takes one step to get connected to the help you need. 211 is always available to help. So get in touch today.
I was looking for a first job. I had been babysitting and decided it was something for a little more permanent. It pays very well. It's convenient. You can make your own schedule with the flexibility. That's something that I like. The people that I work with are great. I wouldn't ask for a better crew or management team to work for.
I'm a busy woman, and I'm not ready to slow down.
Tiffany's hip pain was interfering with her career and active lifestyle until she came to the Adina Orthopedic and Spine Institute.
Dr. Meshbach told me about same-day surgery. I said, I want it now, and I wanted it yesterday.
After a successful procedure, Tiffany was home the very same day and on her way back to enjoying the community she calls home. At Adina, we do what we love, so you can too.
In sports, we've got a lot of kids who participate in indoor track and field at this time of the year, but we're talking outdoors. There's been a change.
Yes. Yesterday afternoon, the Ohio High School Athletic Association Board of Directors voted unanimously to expand postseason tournament divisions in track and field as well as cross country. Track and field will add 2 divisions, expanding from 3 to 5, while cross country will add 1 division, expanding from 3 divisions to 4. And this will take place beginning with the school year 25-26. So that will be this fall for cross country and then in the spring of 26 for track and field. High school scores from last night, girls basketball. The SOC is getting cranked up. SOC 3 winners were Waverly, Minford over Wheelersburg. That was a kind of a surprise. Wheelersburg was like 10-1 going into that game, and they got drilled by 12. West over South Webster. In the SOC 2, South Gallia thumped Oak Hill by 50. Northwest over Eastern Pike, and Sims Valley beat Western pretty bad. In the SOC 1, the only score we could track down was Greene beating Notre Dame. In the TVC, Athens continues to roll with a big win over River Valley. Alexander, they stay in second place with a win over Vinton County. Nelsonville York beat Meigs, Federal Hocking over Belpre, and Waterford beat Southern. And in the Shack, Eastern Brown girls beat Fairfield, and actually that was a conference game. Fayetteville over Ripley. Non-conference, Paint Valley beat Wellston, 55-42. Again, this is girls basketball. In the OVC, Portsmouth remains unbeaten in the conference with a win over Chesapeake. Fairland's just a game back with a big win over South Point. Rock Hill and Colegrove were winners. Now in boys basketball, in the MSL Buckeye, Battle of Fairfield County. Bloom Carroll beat Amanda Clear Creek 63-48. In the MSL Cardinal, it was Fisher Catholic over Grove City Christian.
Make it 17 straight now for the Ohio State women. An 80-69 win over Wisconsin. Penn State is up next in a road contest on Sunday. That'll be at 1 p.m. The Liberty Flames fell to UTEP 72-70. Chillicothe's Javon Moffmer was held to just 3 points in that contest. They'll host New Mexico State tomorrow night in Lynchburg, Virginia. After a 12-1 start, they have now gone 2-3 in their last 5 games. The Oklahoma City Thunder pounded
Paybacks.
The Cavaliers by 20, 134-114. Cleveland heads to Minnesota tomorrow night. The Columbus Blue Jackets won their 6th straight, a 4-1 victory over the Sharks of San Jose. They will shoot for 7 straight in a trip to New York where they'll take on the Rangers tomorrow night. Ohio State men will host Indiana this evening. And we just got this in from Circleville High School. They have announced their 3 inductees for their Hall of Fame. They include Draven Bass, who is involved with track and field and soccer. Also, Michael Camp, who is a football and basketball player. Both of them, I believe, were from the class of 2016. And Sarah Motes from the class of 2019, multi-sport athletes, including softball and soccer. So congratulations to those kids in Circleville. Our Neil Coleman Insurance Wyandotte Mutual Litter Media Player of the Week, presented by Homeland Credit Union, is Shawnee State University's Trey Beard from Chillicothe. He is grown up to 5 feet 11 inches now.
Wow.
He was like 5'5", and I think I explained when he was a freshman at CHS, still launching those three-pointers. He crossed the 1,000-point mark this week in competition, and he is just 8 three-pointers away from the number 2 all-time in three-point shooting. He's averaging 19 points a game this year. His senior season, where does the time go? These kids, they grow up and they take off.
So the 3 in the circle, is that symbolic of him shooting three-pointers?
No, that's that's actually from the Shawnee State website. That's the ... You click that and it gives you more in his bio. So.
Gotcha. Don't forget, we've got basketball tonight and tomorrow. Litter Media Radio will be out at Zane Trace High School. Another conference SVC matchup, Southeastern at Zane Trace, and then you will be at the lovely Maxwell Center tomorrow.
Yeah, I've not been up in there for a game before, so looking forward to that. But it'll be Notre Dame rolling up the road from Portsmouth to take on New Hope Christian Academy. Both of them have, 2 losses on the season,
right.
But relatively good seasons so far for them as they make it close to the halfway point of the year. That's crazy.
And that's an earlier start for you than usual
Yes.
tomorrow.
I think their JV begins at 5
o'clock.
The varsity game is expected to start around 6:30. So looking forward to that. And then next week, going home to Tays Valley, and that'll be on Tuesday for girls basketball. And then just up the road from my house to Huntington for Unioto at Huntington on Thursday. And then you're at my old stomping grounds on Friday next week.
And what could be a key FAC matchup, right now Zane Trace is undefeated and Chile with only 1 conference loss.
I love these matchups between Pat Beard and Ben Ackley. They were both the varsity girls basketball coaches, had great programs, and went toe-to-toe back in the mid-teens of the 2000 era. And now they've been the boys basketball coaches for, the last 3 years now. And so it's interesting when they get together. Just to watch those two coach is fun. It really is.
We had Miami Trace a couple of times last year, but 1 or 2 of those, Ben couldn't be on the bench because he just had a heart attack.
Yeah.
Hopefully he's doing very, very well today.
And if you see Ben on the street and you talk about it, he says everything nice about our friends at Adena Health.
Yeah.
Because he is a true testimony for what they've done to help him. So, all right, coming up in a moment, this date in history.
What could have happened in 1966? Litter quality propane, online all the time. Customer payment, account information, and more. Log on at litterpropane.com.
It's the details that make the difference between good enough and simply the best. At Skag Power Equipment, the difference is in designing lawnmowers with your convenience and comfort in mind. At Skag, we believe that quality and substance matter, and that you'll appreciate the attention to detail and craftsmanship we put into every single product. Thick steel and heavy-duty components provide you with unmatched reliability and performance. Skag, simply the best.
Introducing the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. We want to put your pet in the spotlight. Pets with paws to pets with fins. If they gallop, crawl, or slither, play fetch, or simply curl up and snuggle. Send us a photo of your pet and we'll announce a new pet each week. And one pet will be crowned Pet of the Year. To nominate your pet, visit littermedia.com. Click on Pet of the Week. Tell us about your pet and be sure to include a photo. Watch Litter Media Live each Thursday for the announcement of the Petland Litter Media Pet of the Week. No purchase necessary.
Contest applications must be from Ohio residents and at least 18 years old.
Wherever you are, you're there for a reason. You shouldn't have to make a trip to the branch just to deposit a check. Skip the trip and use our mobile app to easily and securely deposit checks from your phone. Day or night, wherever you are, or whatever you're doing, download the Kingston National Bank Mobility app today.
Haynes Total Health Care Center can make you stand up straight. If you want to find out more details about that, but also physical therapy, I would tell you when I went through my issues with my back this past July, I literally could not walk into the office, and they healed me in that aspect. And thank you to the hands of their physical therapists. Thank you so much for what you do to help us. If you want to find out more about what Haynes does, just simply log on to hayneshealth.com or go to littermedia.com. Anywhere you see Haynes on the ad, just click on that. It takes you right to where you need to go. Cassie is their therapist and does a fantastic job. She's been singing here of late, too.
She's been what?
Singing.
Singing. Okay.
Yes, singing at local establishments.
Oh,
so she got a guitar, started singing, and so you might see Cassie McHenry at an establishment near you on a Friday night. Time for this date in history.
We have, I think we all know the devastating power of nuclear weapons. And from time to time, we've probably wondered, what if this happened? And there have been three movies over the years made that kind of goes in that direction. Well, in 1966, a B-52 bomber collided with a KC-135 jet tanker over Spain's Mediterranean coast, dropping 3 70-kiloton hydrogen bombs near a small town and one in the sea. None of the bombs were armed, but explosive material in 2 of the bombs that fell to Earth exploded upon impact, forming craters and scattered radioactive plutonium over the fields. A 3rd bomb landed in a dry riverbed and was recovered relatively intact. The 4th bomb fell into the sea at an unknown location, and the Pentagon admits, now this is the thing that's, if that wasn't scary enough as to what could have happened if these things had detonated, the Pentagon admits to 36 incidents where bombers crashed or caught fire, resulting with nuclear contamination from a damaged or destroyed bomb. I believe I read also in Bob McNamara's book, he was former Secretary of Defense, that there was a B-52 loaded with a hydrogen bomb that crashed near Charleston, South Carolina. But fortunately, it didn't go off.
You know, bank tellers, and I'm going to use this as an analogy, have at least at most $25,000 in their cash drawer in front of them. And eventually they just get to a point where they just act like it's just paper, you know. And I think to myself, how could you do that?
Wow.
Think about crew members on a B-52 riding on what they know could just in an instant end their life.
Yeah.
Let alone the fact you get over the fear of flight.
Yeah, real quick. Yeah.
So, that payload is, and even if you drop that payload, you want to be out of there as fast as you can so you're not around for what happens next.
And most of these are not activated, but they can be in flight. So I guess this is a case in point of why they are not activated while they're flying until they know, hey, we need to activate this because we're going to drop it over somebody.
It's just payload.
Yeah.
Until you have to use it.
What is? Yeah.
We were discussing B-52's music.
Rome was the song.
Rome is the word you were looking for?
R-O-A-M.
We were all familiar with probably their most popular song, Love Shack. I'd not heard of Nip It in the Bud. That would be your Barney Fife song there.
Don't know that I've heard
Nip it in the bud. But we'll have to listen to that here in just a bit. Because if we play it now, they may silence us in certain parts of the world.
Yeah.
So we don't want that to happen. All right, that is it for today's program. We are back at it again Monday with a special edition to talk about the Chillicothe Chocolate Walk. That'll be again at 10 a.m. on Monday, followed by The Daily Show, which is what we're doing now. For Aaron Glandon, Mr. Hand 2, and for the icon Mike Smith, I'm Dan Ramey. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening live on Litter Media Radio.